Good evening and welcome to the July 2nd meeting of the Board of Selectmen. You all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And again, good evening and welcome to the Board's first meeting of the new fiscal year. And our first order of business is to see this most coveted gavel for the chair of the year. So I would open the floor to nominations for chairman of the Board of Selectmen for the ensuing year.
I would nominate Tammy Jo. I'll second that.
There's been a nomination for Tammy Jo Gerard, seconded by Mr. Littlefield, Selectman Littlefield. Any other nominations? Sensing none, move that nominations cease. All those in favor of electing Tammy Jo Gerard for chair, man, woman, for the ensuing
Person.
There you go.
Wait, you got rid of that.
That was easy.
Yeah. It's like the Staples button.
Well, I will now turn the meeting over to the newly elected chair.
Next on the agenda is elect vice chairman of the Board of Selectmen for 2013-2014. And this is a change per the new charter that took effect on July 1st. So I'd open the nominations for vice chair.
Like Dennis Abbott, select Dennis Abbott, nominate Dennis Abbott as a vice chair.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Any other nominations?
I nominate David Woodson as the vice chair.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Okay. Are there any other nominations? Okay, so we have two nominations, one for Dennis Abbott, one for David Woodson. All those in favor of Dennis Abbott?
Thank you, God.
That's two. All those in favor of David Woodson? That's three. Congratulations, Vice Chair.
You should have stayed home.
I should have.
No more coasting.
I should have not have come tonight.
Next on the agenda, announcements. I would like to introduce Gary Lamb, who's sitting at the table with us this evening. Gary is our new town administrator. So, Gary, welcome.
Thank you very much.
Waterboro.
Pleasure to be here, and I'm thankful I came down for this evening. So,
And I just would like to thank Nancy Brandt for her many years of service to the town of Waterboro. She was here at Waterboro Town Hall for 26 years, and she certainly, her impact in the town of Waterboro will be felt for a long time. We thank Nancy for her service.
if I may, Madam Chair, she reached out to me also, and very graciously. We'll sit down either this month or next, and I really appreciate that. Shows what a quality person she was, and very thankful for that.
Any other announcements from board? Okay. We're supposed to have the York County Sheriff's Office here for an appointment. Did you have me hear from them?
I didn't. They're the ones that requested it, so.
Yeah. Well, we'll move along, and if they wander in, we'll take them up. Next, hearing a delegation. Would anybody like to be heard? Seeing none, we'll move on to correspondence. We have the Treasurer's Report, Representative Libby's newsletter, Senator John Tuttle newsletter, the EcoMaine Recycling Reports, minutes of the June 25th Special Town Meeting, the Assessor Agent April 2013 Sales Report, the Assessor Agent July Calendar, and a letter from the Planning Board Chair Tim Neill regarding a zoning change. And in regards to that zoning change, Christina, can we make sure that makes it to the agenda next week, please? Moving on, reports and staff initiatives, transfer station manager.
Good evening. suppose you all want to know what your cleanup day, what it's going to cost, and what it entailed. I've got it broken down so that it comes out at the end. It'll tell you exactly, pretty near exactly what it cost. We had 15 loads of demolition debris that went to landfill, and it was 69 tons that we took in that 1 8-hour day, and that came to $7,142.72. The electronics that we had that day, there was 17.83 tons. We had 587 CRTs or television computers, 135 printers, 132 towers or computers. Mixed electronics was 2.8 tons that we took in. Laptops, 273 pounds. We did take in 7 microwaves, and I don't know how they got mixed in, but they did. It came to a total of 17.83 tons of electronics that we took in that day. White goods, we took in 21 refrigerators, 79 air conditioners, 14 dehumidifiers, 1 water cooler, 33 air conditioners, and 148 units total. We still have 33 down there, which they're going to pick up later on. It came to just a little over, well, 6.76 tons. Now the payroll to put this on, extra other than, than the people that actually worked there for that day, was $683. And that's the extra help. We had 6 people, including 1 from D&E, which we paid $100, and we paid Dean $60 for his truck, which really we couldn't have got along without it, because we used all of our containers. We borrowed containers from Limerick, Acton, and then we started using Dean's containers up there and just kept hauling them down, filling them. And we had probably 20, 25 containers out back there were full. Tires, and that's the bugaboo. In the 8-hour day we had 22 tires when we started that day, and we ended up with over 4,000. So we got quite a pile down there. And that's going to cost us, I checked, it's going to cost us $70.50 a ton, because EcoMaine said they'll take them all, but they have to be done over each load, 25 to 30, 40 to a load. I did contact the DEP and told them we're in violation, and I got a letter back from them today saying, good luck, take care of them as best you can. The comment was, we don't worry about Waterboro. We know things are being well taken care of. Furniture down there, we had 5 loads of furniture that went to be burned, which is 23.11 tons, and that cost us $2,129.64. We did take in 42 batteries, which we sold for $378, $9 each. Household wire, we sold that. We cut the wire off all the computers that we could, and that came to $243 we took on that. And I'm estimating on the metal that we took in down in the metal pile, we should sell that for around $2,400, but that won't come until this fall. The total cost was $12,420.36 to put it on. Less the saleable items, it brings it back down to $9,399.36.
That's not bad considering where you thought it was going to be.
I know.
No, we said 10,000.
Yeah.
Well, at one point, I thought Clint thought it was going to be about double that once he saw it.
Always.
Worry. I guess I'm worry wad. I can say, huh? I did tell you that we got a letter from the DEP saying, everything's fine. We got them in the right place. They're in the middle of the pit. If they burn, he's just suggested let them burn, and then we'll have to just clean the mess up later. But I think it's going to take about 3 to 4 months to get rid of them. So now we'll go back to our recycling rate. And in May, our recycling rate was 19.64%. The June rate, I hope everybody realizes the way that they're doing it at EcoMaine, it's going to go way down because of the 5 loads of burnable furniture that goes in there, the way they calculate it.
And I think this is what you're getting at, Dennis, about the, at the last committee meeting, Dennis suggested that maybe Waterboro ought to have their own recycling rate. We'll figure our own, and because evidently they're gonna just keep including this, and it's just gonna keep dragging us down. So, starting in July, we'll do our own, have our own rate.
So they're taking the furniture and you saying that as household
They're-
waste?
Well,
They're putting it in as
he's
household
including
waste.
that as
Right.
the bulky, all the bulky waste is just getting rolled into the gross. I've had one discussion, actually, two discussions, one over the phone, but anyway, we'll have another in-person discussion.
Well, it's easy enough to do the rate. I mean, we can do it.
Yeah, it's,
takes
we
5
know what
minutes
the
to do
numbers
it.
are. It'll boost us up by 2 or 3%.
Yeah. And we now down there, we have a book bin for recycling books, good books, DVDs, video games, and CDs. And that takes it out of the waste stream, and it's no cost to us. And like our library and our school, every library and every school has the right to contact this organization, and they will actually send books to the library, to the schools, free of charge. What they do is they're sending them to third world countries, and anybody can get them that wants them, just ask for them. So that'll help us a little bit. So back in May, I attended the Solid Waste Conference. It was a 2-day event, and spent one whole day doing organics management, which seems to be the big push now in the state of Maine, to take that out of the waste stream. And also took unit-based pricing, which I didn't know what it was, so I took it. And what it came down to was paper bag. I said, I'm an expert at that. We're experts. They also had a video hookup with Woods Hole in Massachusetts, and it was a Dr. Kara Lavender Law, and she explained what's happening in the oceans all around the world and what's happening to our food chain as far as fish go. It was very, very interesting because, like, up in the North Pole, we never think of anything going up there, but now they've found there's an area the size of New England that's 6 miles deep that's almost solid plastic.
Oh, wow.
And she said that 1 out of every 5 fish that they autopsy has plastic pellets in it. And we're eventually going to be eating this. This is into the food chain now. And that's why they're trying to stop all dumping at sea. And if you know what I'm talking about, like New York, Boston, the barges go out every day and take it out and dump it. And we have a big long finger that's coming all up the East Coast. It's almost up to Maine now. It's out to sea, but it's almost looks like you walk on it. Met with several vendors up there. Planet Aid, I signed up where we're going to get 15 cents a pound now for anything that goes into their boxes, which would be a help. It's, I figured, around $500 a year, but it's better than nothing. I talked to a paint recycling company, which is in the legislature right now. They're trying to get approved by the DEP and the legislature to put containers around all the transfer stations and have everybody bring their paint in and dump it, and they will take it out free of charge. And what they, maybe gimmick, I guess you'd call it, they take the paint, mix it, and then they turn around and sell it to third world countries. It might come out pink, any color, but I guess they don't care. Then, last thing I did, any fun, was attend EcoMaine's annual meeting. I think Dennis, I'm not going to say too much about it. Dennis is going to give us the blow-by-blow on that and his blue bags, right, Dennis?
How's it going taking in the metals without charge?
It's picked up. It really has. It has. I think we've got almost 2 truckloads down there now. Because that free day, that really helped. We got a lot of metal that day. A lot. John knows. John was down there. He knows about the tires
He had a sore back for 3 days hauling tires around.
Anything else, Clint?
No, I'm all set.
All right, any questions for Clint?
We have another day scheduled for October?
It's either gonna be September or October. That's something that we all have to get together and decide and set the date.
So, I mean, we haven't done this for, it's 2 or 3 years now, right?
Oh, it's gotta be
More
eight,
than, okay,
eight, nine?
well, time
Yeah.
flies. So the next time, it shouldn't be quite as crazy as it was.
No. Actually, the townspeople voted at the town meeting to have 2 more.
Yeah.
One this fall and one next spring.
Yeah.
And I think they've allotted, they voted 10,000 this time and $8,000 for the next time.
I just want to mention to Gary that being down there, at one time, there was probably 25 or 30 cars down there, all going in different directions, backing up. And I don't think there was one fender bender
No.
in the 8 hours. It was just incredible. It was amazing. No one seemed to get mad at each other, which happens.
Yeah.
But it was a day where a lot of stuff was dropped off, and people were courteous and got their job done, and no one got hurt, except me, maybe.
Yeah.
All right,
Okay. Dennis's
Bridget
turn.
had a question.
You mentioned the word landfill toward the beginning of your report.
Yeah.
What was that about?
That's the demolition debris that goes into Poland to Riverside Recycling. They do take some of that out, but a lot of it is ground up and it goes to a landfill in Canada. They use it for a cover over the big
Okay,
chambers that they have.
okay, I hadn't heard of
Yeah.
that. The books that are we getting money for the books that are donated in that box?
No. All it's doing is it's taking the books out of the stream.
Out of
and-
the waste stream?
Yeah.
I'm just wondering how it could be diverted to our library book sales.
I don't know.
I was surprised when I first saw that down there. I mean, I didn't know what quality books were. You probably don't see it when they unload it, do you?
I did see, yes, I did. I saw what they took out, and I would say there's a lot of junk, you know.
Okay.
I
That makes
don't-
me
I
feel
don't-
better.
There were some really nice books in there. I
Yeah.
mean, there were some really nice books, a lot of building books, flowers and stuff like that, but there was a lot of junk.
Because in the past, I used to
Paperbacks
look in the
with half
shed.
of it gone, stuff like that, when it should have been over in the recycling, but
I used to look in the shed when I'd go down, and if there was anything looked decent, I would take it and put it in the basement of the library, but
we still,
That was before.
when it comes in, we try to tell people the real good stuff to put it over there for people to take. We used to get tons of that stuff,
okay.
and we were just hauling it back over and, to go into the recycling.
Well, I just am very excited about the amount that was brought in, because it just feels to me like a lot of that stuff, where it would have ended up, and it's not in the works.
Well, the idea, I think, what we all talked about is, after the third one, we really have to sit down and analyze this whole thing to see if it's going down, if that is
Yeah.
where all the waste is coming from. Yeah. But it's gonna take another 2 times.
Thanks, Clint.
Okay? Thank you.
Next, Transfer Station Recycling Committee. Do we have somebody reporting from that committee?
Well, we've just had a resignation from the chair, so we need 2 people for that committee and a new chair. So that'll be the challenge of that committee going forward, is to try to get somebody that wants to chair those meetings, and really need 2 new bodies, so, or 2 additional bodies.
EcoMaine Rep, I guess that's you, huh?
Yeah, just to follow on with what Clint was talking about, the annual meeting, and I mentioned it several times here, that was held first part of June. One of the presentations there was by Andrew Carpenter, who is president of Northern Tilt, and he has been, or was rewarded the contract by EcoMaine to do a feasibility study on organics recycling going forward in the EcoMaine community, the member community, as well as the contract community. And he had fairly lengthy presentation, huh, Clint? Talked about different aspects of organics and whatnot, but I think what they were going to end up focusing on is what they call it, Operation Blue Bag. Some of the cities like in Oregon and whatnot, Seattle has run it, they call it an Operation Blue Bag. It's actually a blue bag that is biodegradable that they put organics in, and those are collected X amount of times a week or month or whatever the case may be, and then those are put into organic recycling. Either compacts, your typical garden compost, or the bigger commercial composting operation. And I guess they do put some of it into, what do they call the digestion process that they have. But whether that'll get any traction in EcoMaine, you've got curbside pickup, we've got transfer stations, we've got all kinds of different things. It's fairly expensive only because of the cost of the bags. I think from our perspective, if people wanted to recycle it and you had a blue bag, we would just have a container that we'd put blue bags in instead of the regular trash, right?
The way I understood it, though, they were gonna have he was thinking about buying some kind of a machine down there.
Yeah.
That, as these go through, it'll take the blue bags out.
Yeah. Well,
And they'll be put right in your regular trash.
But the blue bag is, right,
Yeah.
they could put it into, and I think what they were looking at is curbside pickup and everything, where the blue bag would go in with the regular household waste, but it would get culled out at EcoMaine.
Right.
I think from our perspective, if you've got somebody bringing in to a transfer station and they're putting household waste in one compactor and single stream in another, it wouldn't be too much of an effort to say any blue bags go into this one. But that remains to be seen. And it's not a huge, when all is said and done, it's not a huge hit to the waste stream. Not like everybody thinks that it would be. It's not like, oh gee, now we're taking all of this out. So I think will be the next thing that you kind of see coming out of EcoMaine. Big thing out of EcoMaine is that the tipping fees have been reduced for all the member communities down to $70.50. That seems to be competitive, at least with the new Casella transfer station that's in Westbrook. So we will reap the benefit of that. As mentioned here before, our annual commitment is being reduced by another $25,000 this year. So, and I think the discussions in and around the board, and there'll be a discussion on the 10th of September, for the executive committee, of whether or not the annual assessments of the member communities will eventually get down to zero or close to it. I mean, there's no more debt. Carrying a $23 million fund balance in the operation. They try to build up money, certainly, to protect for the landfill closure when and if that ever happens. So I think we're in a pretty reasonable position as we stand now. So District 2, which is the York County towns, Hollis, Leamington, Lyman, Algonquin, and Waterboro. I will represent them on the executive committee this year. So we'll have an executive committee vote as well as a general vote in the membership. So that will take place. And we'll see how that all shakes down in the coming months. But year to date, Waterboro is down 2% in solid waste and household waste, which includes the demolition.
Right.
Okay. And we're down, which is only 39 ton, by the way, and we're down 2% or 8 ton in the recyclables. So we didn't go down in household waste and go up in recyclables. So it wasn't a switch. I think it's just down in general. So time will tell. We'll see how EcoMaine fares. There's some discussion of a couple of municipalities determining that, hey, after now 20 some odd years, we're debt free, we can get out. Algonquin has made that initial move to go out, and Bridgeton has made at least a proposal that they may consider getting out. But we're now, after all these years, at a point where we can benefit from having no debt and having an organization that takes care of 100% of our needs, so we'll see how that sorts out.
How does it impact the other municipalities that are part of EcoMaine if some of them decide to get out?
It's just the tonnage will go down. I mean, there's a need of 500 ton a day to burn and keep the output of the plant where it needs to be. If the member or contract communities can't produce that 500 ton, then Kevin goes to the spot market and he literally doesn't buy waste, but it's at a reduced price. So, you know, the spot market price might be $50 a ton today, and he's attracting waste into the system so that he can keep the quantity up. So, so that would be the biggest hit would be, well, the revenue stream is not on its way in. What these towns have for an obligation, and we would have for an obligation should we decide to bolt, I'm not sure that's in our best interest after all these years, but is we still have an obligation for landfill closure. And we could leave today, or Gunkwit could leave today, 25 years from now, when they close that landfill, Gunkwit has a piece of that cost. So, you know, you don't just walk away from it. So, the other noticeable things that you'll see in some of there's been a lot of discussion of solid waste being disposed of in landfills. There was a recent law passed. There's a 1-year moratorium, and there's a study and all this, but the other one is Juniper Ridge. That is in front of the DEP. There's been tons of discussion and different talking about why it shouldn't be expanded so Casella can bury household waste there. It hasn't been buried there for years. Come to find out, the testimony from the cities of Biddeford and were all part of the sale. They had an obligation to testify for expanding the landfill as a result of Casella buying the land, buying Oak Brook. So anyway, there's a lot of interesting reading if anybody's interested in that. But it would appear that that decision is still forthcoming of whether they expand that or not. So.
It's good to have our own rep on the executive board in there. And it's been a while since we've had that, since I think Willis was the last one.
Yeah, and I think what we need to make sure of is, and now there's only going to be 4 towns if the Gunkwit gets out, but what we kind of have set up is Len was last year, I was the alternate, and this year Dennis from Leamington is the alternate. I'm not sure that Morris wants to be part of it in Lyman, but there should be a rotation, so every 4th or 5th year that we have the seat. And if certainly if you become an officer of the committee, then your district could get 2 seats on the executive committee. So there's some, and you watch that a little bit. Some of those other districts have done that. So.
Clint, I saw you had a question.
I was just gonna say that they have an aggressive group in there now that are actually going out and soliciting towns to come in. And I think we're up to what, 50, 54?
Yeah.
I think it's 54 towns now that are actually have signed contracts to haul their trash in there. You know, some of them are 20-year contracts, some are only, 3, 5, but they are really going out there and trying to get these towns to come in. And another thing that really they made, now the profit that they made this year after everything, I think was 1.8 million, wasn't it, Dennis? Something like that.
Yeah, right now they're and we knew, the revenue is down because we cut the assessments to the communities last year by, Waterboro was $50,000, but so, when you look at that, there was like 1.5 million in revenue that we knew wasn't coming in.
Right.
So then when you start looking at the revenue, it's down 1.3 from where we budgeted, but we're still 64% up from where, down 1.3 from last year, but 64% up from where we budgeted, so. And part of that is the recyclables and what the market is and all of those things.
Bridget?
I have a question about the organics proposal. Seattle and Oregon, at least coastally, are much more moderate climates than here. And Winterwood Farm, when it had its composting facility in Lyman, used the cornstarch-based bags and left them in the piles because I would see them blowing, but they'd say they'll be gone by the time the compost is finished because they are basically cornstarch. So it brings to my mind questions about if there is a larger scale organics system that's set up. That's one thing, but Clint is licensed as a composter. Is it class 1? Or?
Yes, class 1.
But there are other classes, and is that something down the road that we as a town might consider doing? Class 1 being basically barn waste and yard waste, and no, organics beyond that.
And if anybody's interested, if you go to EcoMaine's website and you look at the annual meeting, the presentation that was given, and it looks at all of the different things, looks at within the member communities or contract communities, who's already doing composting, and there are commercial efforts going on. And
beyond what we're doing.
that's right. I mean, it's
okay.
there's so what he tried to look at was everything that's happening within the envelope of the EcoMaine community, if you will, and look at opportunities. And Scarborough's doing some things with their, I think they're composting there in the sanitary department, and there's a whole host of things that are part of this presentation if you're interested in looking at it. But unfortunately, you're just looking at the slides based on so you're trying to. It's not as clear as having him stand there and talk about it. Although I will tell you, it's not the most exciting thing that you want to listen to either. So.
Okay. Thanks, Dennis.
And Dwayne was there with, and Clint's Joanne were there as well. So it wasn't like you didn't have goosebumps,
Anything else, Dennis?
No.
All right. Moving along, Selectmen's reports. David, you have anything?
No.
John?
I have a couple of meetings that I've attended in the past several days, and Bridget is chair of the library trustees, so Bridget, correct me if I get anything wrong here.
That's why I'm here, John.
There's it's a 7-person committee down to 5. I think the members all talk that the 5 work very well together, and they don't feel a crisis by any means of being short by 2. But but also there's been discussion as to how well the 5 work together, and if another 1 or 2 people joined in that was very interested in the library and interested in being on a good team. That it would that may offer some new ideas to the group. So that's like a lot of our committees, we're a little short on that.
John, could I interject something there? Since we had the meeting, we've been in email communication, and we realized that it's really time to reorganize completely, because we almost dissolved a few years ago after the new library situation fell through. And we've rebuilt in a way that's not, it's structured more as us doing programming. And we have a new trustee, Sonia Durney, who is a librarian in Portland Public Library. And we've been talking about our August meeting being one to revise our vision statement, our bylaws, and everything, so that we think we would be in a better position to welcome new people once we know more what we're expecting. Because right now we really didn't bring Sonia in a very organized way because we had become disorganized. And because she's so smart, she had all kinds of good questions to ask, which I realized We should have had that all for her, and then she'd know what she was getting into. So if anyone is interested between now and August, we're not meeting in July, and in August it's going to be a reorganizational message. And what John said is absolutely right. We're going to leave it at 7 until we do that reorganizing, and if someone is interested in coming and being part of that discussion, they'd be very welcome. But we feel like we'll be better prepared after August to say, this is what it would mean if you were to be a trustee.
The book sale is coming up at Old Home Days at the same time, 9 to 1 on Saturday, July 13th. So that'll be going on. People talked about the clink bags, and you know what these clink bags are? It's where you put your bottles, rather than throwing them out or taking them to the transfer station. Put them in a clink bag that has a library code on it, and you bring it into Hannaford. It credits the library with the cost of the bottles, so the 5 cents per bottle in each the clink bag. And I think, if I remember correctly, it's about close to $1,000 over this past year.
No, over about the past 3 to 4 years, it's brought in almost $1,700.
So it's a significant piece. Silent auction is going on right now. So I think people, when's that closing down?
July 30th.
Okay. So there's items over there. You go into the library, you can look at the items and put a bid on them. They've got things going on monthly for children, and there was some discussion too about maybe doing some things for adults on a monthly basis too. Some ideas were thrown around. It was a good meeting. It was looking at an adult program. So that was the first meeting I went to, and the other one was the community garden. These people are on fire. You can see it out to the side. There's a lot that's been done. This is a first-year garden. It's pretty impressive. They've put a load of work in there. At this time, about 3/4 of the fence is up. They need to get the front part of the fence up in the next month or so, because from what I understand, the turkeys come down the road, single file, and head into the garden. So you got to get the front fence up. There's always, of course, a need for donations. So anybody that would like to donate to the garden, it will go to a new project that is getting better all the time. There's an interesting thing that happened the other day that I was, milfoil. There is a use for milfoil. Compost. There's a pile of it out there, and you can put milfoil compost around your plants. It keeps the moisture in. So that's the first thing I've heard of being able to use milfoil for. So it's a big pile of it out there, and people can, I don't think anybody would have any problem if you came in and took a bag of it to put down around your garden, around your plants. Just want people to know too that the plots are taken. There's 24 plots out there. They're all rented for this year. Next year, there's been some interested people that did not get in time. So there'll be more plots for rent next year. This garden could double. But just want people to know, it's a community garden that people rent, or they lease their garden beds and work on them, plant them, and weed them and water them all summer long. It's not a community garden for people to just come in and harvest what they want. So there is some area in the garden that will be going to the food pantry, and for people that may benefit and need some help. There's a cabbage patch that went in that will be I'm sure if people came in and had a need, the town would be happy to give them some cabbage and some, but it's not for just to come in and harvest someone else's garden. There's wood out there, and they're gonna be building a couple sheds in the next couple weeks. So the garden is progressing nicely, and it's, the people on the committee put in a load of work.
Okay, Dennis?
I don't really have anything other than, I just want to publicly thank Matt and Christina. In the last few weeks, we've had a number of fire drills, and I think on a day-to-day basis, the three of us spent hours on the phone, and I just want to thank those guys for stepping up and doing what had to be done. So.
Here.
And just echo the sentiments of the other members of the board.
Tammy Jo? About what John was saying about the milfoil, I got a phone call one day from Scott Davis, who's the Buildings and Grounds Oversight Manager of Lake Arrowhead. And he knew that I taught classes on composting and did a lot of work around compost. And he said, I've got a deal for you. I've got 8 yards of milfoil compost. And I said, well, my 1 acre of land is not going to have use for 8. And he has tried it for a few years and said it was very good for water retention. And so I immediately thought of the community gardens and phoned Amy and gave her the information for Scott, because I felt, first of all, it may be the silver lining on a huge ecological problem that we have in town. And secondly, it might be a nice way for Lake Arrowhead and Waterboro to be in a cooperation to have a mutually beneficial action. And so it is available. It's not just for community garden members. If people want some, it is there. Like to not come in for truckloads, but if you come in with a few buckets or some for your gardens, you are welcome to get that.
Who would have thought?
Yeah, that's what I said.
There's a few clams mixed in there too. Yeah.
They're mussels, because the mussels are on the bottom where they pull the milfoil out. But that's good calcium, eventually.
All right. Moving on to new business. Number 1 on the agenda, discuss a vote to appoint Gary Ramsey, Town Administrator, Town Clerk, Treasurer, Tax Collector, and Director of General Assistance.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, so we have moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Congratulations, Gary.
Thank you very much.
How are we going to fit that all on the sign?
Good question.
Its initials.
Next on the agenda, discuss a vote on fiscal year 2014 annual appointments. And how about, do you want to take these one at a time or as a group?
Let me just read them down. I would move that we appoint Matt Boers as Fire Chief, EMA Director, Deputy Health Officer, Lisa Bennett as Health Officer, Deputy EMA Director, Mark Mitchell as Code Officer, Building Inspector, Licensed Plumbing Inspector, Deputy Health Officer, Peter Gordon is Deputy Code Officer, Deputy Building Inspector, Deputy Licensed Plumbing Inspector, Brenda Krenner as the Motor Vehicle Agent, Yvette Murray as Register of Voters, and Nancy Johnson as the Deputy Register of Voters.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor? Okay. Moving on, discuss vote Selectmen's policies. And this was a revamp so that the policies are in line with the town charter. And as we went through this exercise, we had a workshop on these last week, and we found that there were several of the policies that could be repealed and built into the Selectmen's bylaws, or that were no longer applicable because of changes to the charter. So,
Chairman Gerard, I just noticed I made a lettering error there, so pardon that mistake, please.
oh, Okay.
on the agenda.
So the first one was the account policy, and the recommendation on that was a repeal.
So how about in the interest of time that I move that we repeal A, B, C, D, which is the account policy, agenda and appointment policy, decision, meeting and efficiency policy, and election notification policy, along with the formal complaint policy. We amend the payment policy. We repeal the policy of the treasurer's disbursement of warrants for employees and wage benefits. We repeal public use of town copying equipment and supplies policy. We amend the safety and return to work policy. We adopt the purchasing policy for fiscal year 13-14. And I guess that's as far as I'll go at this point.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
I have to abstain because I did not hear everything that was stated here. So I didn't know how far down,
All the way down to I, John.
all the way down to I. I?
I mean, yeah.
J.
A through J.
I got, okay.
So it's gonna be everything that we discussed in the workshop last Tuesday evening.
Okay, I have it 1 through 14.
Yeah, but on the agenda, John.
Okay, I see, all right.
So you want a minute to look at that, John?
I've looked at each one, but it just, I was expecting to take them one at a time, so I, okay.
You're all
That's
set?
fine.
Okay. So you all set with that, Christina? Okay. So then we have, next was K, discuss vote on Selectmen's meeting agenda. By the charter, we need to, at the beginning of each fiscal year, set what our meeting schedule is going to be for the year. So is there a preference on meeting schedule? I would recommend that we just continue with every Tuesday evening at 6 o'clock.
Second that.
Yeah, until,
Well, we'll do the motion.
I'll make that in the form of a motion. It remains as we presently do it every Tuesday night at 6 o'clock.
and I would second that, knowing full well that we can alter this. This isn't set in stone. I mean,
Right.
if it gets to the point where we can go to every other week, then we'll make that decision at that time.
So we've got a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor? And next is discuss vote to amend and adopt the bylaws of the Board of Selectmen.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Okay. Next on the agenda, discuss vote on board and committee appointments. And in your packet, we had some new applications. Some of them were renewals. And in our packets, we have Bob Gobiel, who has applied for the Assessing Board of Review, Transfer Station Recycling Committee, Parks and Rec Committee, Old Home Days Committee, and the Fair Hearing Committee. We have Diane Holden, who has applied as a member of the new Budget Committee. We have David Lowe, who has applied for the Cable TV Committee, replacing Dick Bateman, who retired. We have Cleo Smith, who is a reappointment to the Gardening Committee. We have Melissa Brandt, who's on the appointment for the Community Garden Committee. We have Amy Beth Lucarelli, who's reapplying for the Garden Committee. We have Anthony Lucarelli, who's applied for reappointment to the Garden Committee. We have Todd Smith, who's applied for the Community Garden Committee. Nancy Brandt, who's applied for the Community Gardening Committee. We have Peter Cody, who's applied to the Community Garden Committee. We have Lynn Bilodeau, who's applied to the Waterboro Public Library Board of Trustees. And we have, last but not least, James Gendron, who's applied to the Road Review Committee. This would be a reappointment.
I would so move all of the above.
There's
I'll
a-
second. I'll second that.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Okay. Next, we have discuss vote on Selectmen Board and Committee Liaison assignments. So every year we look at who's on what boards. Everybody has in the packet the list. Do we want to go through these one by one? Is there anybody that wants to change appointments? Is everybody content with their committee assignments and want to stay put? What's the pleasure of the board?
Well, it would be nice to see a new face or two take over the recycling committee. And the only reason I say that is that I know David was there for many years, and David and I were there together for now a number of years, like 6 or 7. And John and I have been for the last 3 or 4, so and it may very well be, maybe we should sit and go through this instead of just saying, yeah, let's go with what we've got. Maybe we ought to force some of the issue to change different committees. But that's my comment.
With the new changes in the makeup of departments and stuff, so some of these be combined or redirected, or you think we keep them the same, or how's it going to work?
Well, I mean, you have some committees that are by charter, so those ones we can't change, but certainly there are others that we could look at.
Well, I think we just need some, like the finance committee is now going to be a budget committee.
Yep.
Really doesn't have a lot of involvement for the selectmen, because the budget committee's role is to work with the town administrator in developing the budget, right? So it's not a committee that's out there kind of on their own and needs a selectman as a liaison, right? I mean, the committee's going to ultimately work with the town administrator. So I'm not sure that there has to be a liaison there. Maybe there does, but I think it warrants some discussion other than, you get the transfer station recycling committee, maybe some time for some new blood. Comprehensive planning committee is
Gonna be
really
phasing out,
winding,
right?
huh?
Gonna be phasing out. Then.
Right.
That's still got another year to go,
But
though, so.
then again, you've got, this combination of maybe the 2020 planning board and all of that becomes one. We're putting the planning department together with all this thing. Maybe there's a selectman that works with all of the, and is the
Group.
liaison with those things, right?
Here's a suggestion I would make. Why don't we, next week, at the end of our meeting, have a workshop and look at these, really go through them, see if there's some way that we can group them, and then everybody take a look at them this week and come in next week with an idea. And why don't we say, let's shake things up next year and look at, if you're doing the committee this year, don't do it next year.
I think it's just, maybe we force the issue to change some of the stuff. In some of it, I look at the 2020 committee, David has really kind of been part and parcel of that, and I would guess wants to stay
Like
with
to
that to
finish
the
it.
end, right? So that makes sense, because it has an end to it. So, yeah, I would agree that maybe we just have some time and discuss it and go through it.
Okay, so why don't we do that next week, Christina? After the meeting, we'll just do a committee workshop. Sounds good.
You probably ought to put in there too, the 12-town group, 'cause that's,
It's in there.
It's in there.
yeah, okay,
Yep. I mean, the one that couldn't change is the budget committee, because that's an elected
Select
yeah.
position, but,
York County budget.
Yep.
Even though it may be a censure.
yes, I'm gonna be a censured committee. Discussed promoting town boards and committees at Old Home Days.
That came up, if there's a table up there, if we put a sign up that states the committees and the openings and who to get contact, and maybe even one of us take an hour or two here and there, sit at that table, and anybody that is interested, talk to them. You can tell them about the committee. To do a little recruitment at Old Home Days. I'd be happy to do an hour on a Friday evening or an hour after the parade on Saturday.
I'll do the
But-
hour during the fireworks.
Huh?
I'll take my hour.
You're gonna be there during the fireworks.
What's the date of that?
It's
It's next Saturday,
Next Saturday, this, a week from
the
this.
13th.
12th, 13th, Friday, Saturday.
I could do a couple hours Saturday morning, but I have a commitment Saturday afternoon, so.
Yeah, I got a commitment Saturday evening, so I can do Saturday afternoon. I can do Friday. I don't think we have to have people there all the time. If we have a something at a table that a poster and a description, a pamphlet describing the committees. You know, I'd be happy to sit down and do a little bit of writing on that too. You know, a pamphlet. And so people could go to the table, pick it up, and some of the time there might be a selectman there that they could talk directly to.
Yeah, it wouldn't hurt too. We could invite committee chairs if they wanted to go spend some time talking about their committee or whatnot.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So,
I talked with Christina a little bit this. I mean, Christina's up to here with work. So,
Yeah.
you know, I just said, you know, I'll make the poster. You know, you get the poster board, I'll make the poster. But be happy to kind of help set that table up, and maybe we pick up a few committee members that way.
okay. Do you want to contact somebody from the Old Home Days committee then, John, and ask about getting table space and whatnot?
Yes, yeah.
So is
Yeah.
everybody agreeable to this?
Matter of fact, I was talking with her, and she kind of came up with the idea too.
Okay. So we'll put this in your capable hands, John. How's that sound?
You come up with an idea and you own it.
There you go. Okay, next, discuss vote to schedule a public hearing with the Board of Selectmen on July 23rd to receive comment regarding a zone change to expand the village zone to include map 25, lot 11. This is based on the letter that we received from the planning board recommending this zoning change. So the next thing we would need to do is hold a public hearing on it. Is there any,
So moved to hold the public hearing the 23rd.
okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Okay. Moving on to old business, discuss town charter revision implementation progress, job descriptions. Done? All right,
You should have a copy, but we're gonna sit with the town administrator to go over them.
okay. And then the public works, I think that we said we're gonna kind of table until Gary got his feet on the ground and get working with that. So that should set us pretty well. Under other, says warrants for bills and payroll, but we don't do that anymore.
But could we just take 1 minute and welcome back our
Julie,
lovely treasurer?
Julie was out. She didn't get much of a break though because we kept her working at home. I told her earlier we didn't want her getting stir crazy, and She stuck her tongue out at me for some
I
reason.
said not to go.
So
I'm
we,
glad I could help, and I will continue until they relieve me from come back full time.
That-
So everybody's got my cell phones, and they definitely know how to use it, especially the lady to the far right in black.
so welcome back, Julie. Glad you're feeling better.
Thank you.
So I'd entertain a motion to sign the minutes of the June 26th regular meeting.
Second.
All those in favor? Okay. Pending decisions.
Yeah, we wiped this clean.
We wiped it clean. The week's action list. John's gonna take care of getting us set up for the old home days, maybe getting a schedule together, whatnot, so take care of that. Discussion of agenda items for next week.
Brian Reeder has now sent a couple of emails and follow-up to his forest management plan of the land up at the town garage transfer station, so we probably ought to at least have a discussion of when we want to meet with him, or what we want to do with him.
I know Doug is on vacation this week, so I don't know if you need input from him.
Well, it doesn't have to be, it was just, we need to put that on an agenda, I guess, in the
Yep.
future. It was, I
At least
grabbed it off
discussion.
from, I grabbed it off from my desk as I was headed out tonight, and I said, that's something, we just kind of keep rolling.
We also need to discuss the proposal from Attorney Cole regarding the Johnson property.
And I think that's just an endorsement of the,
Looking a little deeper into the future, you know, when after Gary gets here, might want to set up a time in August, maybe later August to, or maybe early September to work on year's goals. We've done that every year, and it's something that would be really interesting, your leadership on that too.
I'd like to have a discussion on the formulation of some type of policy regarding social media and employees and committee members.
the committee members. I thought you had a request from Charlie Drapo for Public Safety
Yes.
Committee.
I was just gonna mention, I have several
Okay,
new
all right.
applications that I wasn't able to coordinate to get on here for tonight. You usually like to meet with the new applicants, so do you want me to do an executive session next week and try to get those
How many
folks
do
to?
we have, how many new ones?
I
do
think
we
I
have?
have maybe, there's one person applying for 2 positions, and then I think there are 2 other new applications. So it'd be 3
I'll
people.
try to get the other 2 that are lined up for the Public Safety Committee. and
So,
get them at the same time.
could everybody be here at 5:30 next week? David? No?
Just not
He's
available,
not.
period.
Okay.
He's not here.
John, can you do 5:30 next
I'll be
week?
here.
Dennis?
Yeah.
Gordon?
Yeah.
So why
So you
don't we
wanna
do
do, like-
10 minutes?
Okay. And what about the Johnson matter? Do you want an executive session for that at the end of your meeting?
Yes. Okay.
Is that something we need to have the town attorney at, or is the amount of information that was supplied sufficient?
I think we could at least have an initial discussion without him, since we're not paying, if we don't have to.
Oh, we've already paid him. Have you sends that email?
Yeah. Anything else for agenda discussion? All right. Reminders, Monday, July 8th, 7 p.m., Cemetery Committee at the Old Town Hall. Tuesday, July 9th at 6 p.m., Selectmen's meeting. Reporting will be the librarian, library trustees, and Friends of Waterboro Public Library. Wednesday, July 10th at 6 p.m., the Road Review Committee. Thursday, July 10th, the senior lunch at the Snowmobile Club at 11:30 a.m. Saturday, July 13th, the cribbage tournament. Monday, July 15th is the 2020 Master Planning Committee at Central Station. Tuesday, July 16th, 6 p.m. is the Selectmen's meeting at Town Hall. Also in here, we have the Waterboro Old Home Days. That's going to be on the 12th and the 13th of July. And is next week our workshop with the road review committee?
Yes. The 9th,
Yep, so we've got that on the agenda too then.
so we'll have limited business.
Yep.
So do their workshop first and then your liaison workshop after.
And if there's nothing else, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Just one other thing, if you don't
Yep.
mind, Madam Chairman. What arrangements are we gonna have as the board in our participation in the Old Homestead Parade? We're gonna do the...
Can you speak up just a little bit?
I just wanted to know what arrangements we need to make, if any, regarding our participation in the Old Home Days
Oh, yeah.
Parade.
Well, usually they contact us and tell us what time to be where. The last time they came in here and did a report, they did say they were trying to get a convertible, and they were anticipating us participating in the parade, but we haven't heard a time or anything further from them.
It's been a convertible down to golf carts.
Yeah.
That'd just be.
Golf carts that run out of batteries.
I want a tank from How and How this year.
So, John, maybe when you call about the table, could you just touch base with them about
Sure.
participation
Be
in
happy.
the parade? And if we just have that on the agenda so we can wrap it up.
Should we, next week, I guess, should we at least, I know John Sylvester was the York County Budget Committee Chair, has sent this note to us that there's this hearing of the county commissioners to censure the Budget Committee on Wednesday, July 10th. Should we at least have some discussion on that, or is it?
Yeah.
Is that the only thing that's going to be discussed at that hearing?
Yes, basically. What they've done is they've sent every one of the committee members a letter via registered mail saying that we need to be present and we can have our attorney with us if we so desire. And to give reason why we shouldn't be censured. And the budget committee sent out a request, John Sylvester sent out a request asking for council, select boards and whatnot to participate in this meeting on July 10th. And I'll catch you up to speed on that.
Yes, let's chat about that
Let's
after.
chat
I
about
would think
that.
the 16 towns Can should have get that nice
Oh,
little little
thank you
censure.
very much.
Yeah, so, anything else, folks? All right, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Good night.